Hey everybody, it's the last Robokai here, and it's time for the finale for Fate Samurai Remnant. We've been building up for this for 34 episodes. Number 35 is the end of the first run. This game has multiple endings, and we're going to pursue all of them, but this is a pretty big moment. We've been following this journey from a humble little hobo swordsman living in a rundown old shack with a magical book being looked after by his sister. And now we're off to rescue that sister because an incredibly burned, scarred man and his French saint are currently in Edo Castle, the seat of the Tokugawa's power in Japan, and they're
More
trying to
things
bring
you can
about
only say in frickin' Fate.
ready to bring about a catastrophe. And we've fought our way there, so all that's left to do is to confront him, and obviously we are joined by Cool Guy.
Yo.
Yeah, so there's not much else left to say at this point. It is the big stakes. Let's get stuck straight in.
泥のような。なんだ。
英月より流れ出た汚れだろ。
Corruption in Fate is typically depicted as mud. I imagine it's, because it's filthy, it's gross, it gets everywhere.
And nobody wants to touch it. Like that's kind of the brilliant thing to me. It's just like people that make this corruption look all sorts of weird or whatever. And yeah, okay, I get it. If it just looks like mud, then nobody wants to touch it. Fuck it.
Yeah, well, it's time to we can't really unlock anything else for Iori now, so we're just going to spend everything on like superpowering Saber up to maximum.
悪くない心地だ。
Saber's got a lot to say on the topic too. What like did that always happen? Saber saying stuff when you drop when you drop friggin' stuff in? Okay. Just for some reason I'm blanking on that today.
That's right. And once you get enough in as well, like
oh, it's only on major skills. Okay. That's why I didn't recognize it.
yeah, and as we throw up our bonds, we get a little bit of dialogue, and we also get step boosts. Oh, we only got one left now.
I mean, yeah, I was gonna say like we've only got one left, but there's only one fight left. So shrug.
力を得たか。
Saber's gonna be hitting hard, hitting like a truck once we're done here.
No joke. Now, I've never been entirely clear about this, but is this? Do these stats matter when Saber is simply attending you rather than when you swap out? Because it feels like this only matters when you swap out, since Saber barely does anything unless you're controlling her.
I'll be perfectly honest with you. Generally speaking, the game only lets you like generally pretty much make sure you get the last hit, like on anything anyway.
Yeah, all right.
So yeah, it's hard to say, because in the end it's like, you're doing all the work. Saber is just a
Saber is, yeah, attending you rather than yeah. Oh wow! For a minute there, I thought you were gonna be done. You're gonna be done there.
Oh, one more.
新たな力を得たか。
There we go, and that's
There's
full
the
bond.
spirit.
はて。
I mean, that's
you
literally
did
what happens
on
at the
the
end.
on the first, yeah, the first ending we had.
Well, it's also in the story of Yamato Takeru, when cursed by Mount Ibuki's god, he descended, went to a healing spring, but did not allay the curse after long, and ultimately, in perishing, turned into a crane and flew away.
Mm.
It's probably something I forgot to mention. Actually, is that they did actually.
Yeah, that actually
tease...
wasn't in the story of Takeru's death that I dug up. Probably simply because the one that I was reading was at least attempting to be a little bit more clinical on the matter, and simply said that that Takeru eventually just got too old to keep fighting, and people stopped writing about him at that point.
Well, that was likely the historical incarnation.
Yeah,
we're talking the legend, which honestly, you know,
which
Takeru has faded into that level of myth at this point. That he even had shrines devoted to him.
A lot of strictly speaking, Takeru's entire existence is difficult to impossible to quantify by harsh historical standards. For that matter, like I mentioned a couple of episodes ago, the entirety of the first about 12 emperors of Japan are technically legendary, mythological.
Yeah.
Like we know that emperors existed; they must have. But who were those people, and are they the people that we have in history books as the first 12 emperors? We don't really know because all of the sources from that era are they have no way to confirm them.
Yeah, in fact, actually, when it comes to confirming information about Japanese emperors and things like that of that time period, oftentimes the best source that we've ever had is actually from the record keeping of the Chinese.
Yep.
That's how we know of things like Queen Himiko, because who is an extremely old, I think even predating emperors kind of concept that is was like a matriarch ruling like a part of Japan. It's simply because the Chinese records have, oh yeah, we met with the queen of this place and gave them a gift of rice. It might even be that particular time period was when Japan got rice from China, and that's why
it's entirely possible.
Rice's entire thing there is now because of that meeting.
It's because even in this game, it's worth mentioning that when Saber is confronted with paper the first time, she's kind of like, oh shit, that's handy. And back during that same time period, China was densely populated enough that they were already doing a lot of the record keeping that was clearly getting neglected because there wasn't a dense enough hive of humanity in Japan at that point.
Yeah. So it's also worth mentioning, actually, one thing what we haven't talked about in regards to Yamato Takeru is that there's actually a very good reason why Iori was able to summon Takeru without a catalyst. And it's by and large because the reason they are in, the region they were in, was a place that had several shrines to him. In fact, 3. One of the Kawarabans that I've posted actually talks about how I believe it's Todoroki is the last of the 3 shrines that were in the area that were devoted to Takeru and were basically torn down. So the reason why Iori summoned Saber and Saber answered is simply because the area had very strong ties to the prince. So that's just an interesting point. They telegraphed that from the very start.
Not that you would know what to look for unless you were already looking for it, which it's always curious to me when I run into to people who get annoyed by that. It's just like, why? Like nobody was expecting you to be clairvoyant like that. Just enjoy the layered stuff that you can see on a second look. Doesn't say anything about you.
This is a very Neo climax.
Yeah, no joke, right?
Yeah.
About 4 or 5 levels in Neo like this. Only instead of mud, we would have had fucked up looking crystals.
Yeah. It's like you guys can't go 5 minutes without getting just shit all up in your ancient castle. Jeez, guys.
Too many spirits, okay?
Let's have some more Li Shuen moments. We're gonna be showing off his noble phantasm today.
Oh!
His fucking ace.
What? Oh, you're almost at it. Oh, darn it. Oh no! Wait, here we go. Come on! I gotta see this.
Nope. Nope. That's not
Oh.
it. Don't worry, we'll get there.
Yeah. I'm just impatient.
There's plenty of fights to get through on our way up there, so don't you worry about that. I didn't have enough affinity to like supercharge it either, so I was just like, that's fine. We'll just roll with it.
I'm on edge for it now.
You'll say it's honestly really good. It's very appropriate.
A lot of that, that time period, specifically in like the art that goes into developing martial arts like that is just incredibly cool. Because like you said at the time when we were talking about Li Shuen, is like that was one of those strange Renaissance times when unarmed combat was both very practical and very highly prized. You know, like it's like in 2020X or whatever, you could still say it's reasonably practical because the MMA is a much bigger phenomenon than a lot of people give it credit for. Like when you compare it to basically all of the quote unquote real martial arts before it, like boxing or whatever, it draws a much larger crowd, and it's way more conducive to the study of, you know, how do you articulate your body such that you win an unarmed fight, more than something like boxing, which had there's a bunch of rules around boxing specifically to keep the fight going on as long as possible. That is the point behind a lot of the decisions that are made in the discipline of boxing. It's a wonderful discipline. I'm not trying to put it down, but you do have to also realize that it's not about winning a fight as quickly as possible. That was never part of the focus. MMA is, and we should give it credit for that, but it's still just nowhere near the level that it was used in everyday life in Li Shuwen's time period. You know, just protecting Mao Zedong and training people to do the same.
Yeah, we're now very firmly in the age of if your job is a bodyguard, then the expectation is you're going to stand in front of a gun,
Yeah,
which is, you know, obviously we've seen even in at the time of recording this, everyone should know a very major assassination attempt just occurred.
Yeah.
And of course last year we also had another major assassination success.
Yep, that is, and like the entire art of being a bodyguard now is what's called wow, the word just completely got away from me. There's a specific term for eliminating and making sure threats cannot occur in the first place.
Basically, prevention is better than cure, sort of thing.
Yeah. There's a professional term for it that I had 30 seconds ago and now has completely left my mind. But you don't deal with aggressors in the same way as you did back in Li Shuwen's time. You deal with aggressors by grooming the environment such that they cannot be aggressive.
Yeah. And I mean, like, that's a more recent thing as it is now anyway, because even, like, you look at what happened with JFK, and then also the man that shot JFK, and how he was killed.
Yep.
It's like, everyone's gotta go, you know, realize they're gonna get a little bit better at preventing people from just, like, you know, getting in place and violently killing somebody.
I appreciate that it showed all of the mooks there for a moment before they faded away to show your actual target.
Move removal, it's very important.
But yes, the man, there was one other point I'm going to make. I've had a long week. I apologize.
Yeah, you've had a long week.
I've had a big week, and I'm
that looked cool.
losing my words a lot.
The robots be exploding. Well, there was even a time period in Japan, early, like sort of like late 20th century, I guess, mid-late 20th century, where dudes would just run at somebody else with like a knife or like even a samurai sword in some cases, and just like stab someone, and it was like, oh, okay, well that's it.
Well, not much you can do about that. Turns out there is, in fact, a lot you can do about that, but
don't stand there, bro. Yakuza is kind of interesting because they're very fond of the suddenly someone comes out of nowhere and just slams into you at high speeds with a knife trope.
I mean, that back in Ultima Online, that was how you killed a guy. Okay, so this is the story I'll tell you real quick. Is that one of the quirks of Ultima Online, at least back in the day? This is probably still the case, but I'm not 100%. Is that if something bad was happening and there was a criminal around or whatever, you would literally call for the guards by putting guards in set, right? And just doing that would spawn a bunch of incredibly buff guards. Like, you can be the most cracked out player in the game. These guys will still murder you in one hit. And you absolutely were done if you were a criminal and you got the guards called up. It was over. But you could still kill a dude by walking up to somebody with just a starter dagger, just the most basic knife you can come up with, and the cheapest clothes you could come up with. When you came back to usually what people used was what's called a death robe. When you came back to life, you had an ankle-length robe that was white, and it was totally worthless. The only thing it got you was modesty. You would just coat the dagger in the most vile fucking poisons you could imagine. And then you just nick a dude for 1 health. And then you would see unlucky target starts convulsing and vomiting uncontrollably. And unless they had their cursor already over the greater cure potions, they were dead. There was no fucking way they were getting out of that. And of course somebody would call the guards, or your target would call the guards, and you'd get guard whacked, but whatever. Like, you killed a dude. It cost you nothing.
You're the winner.
So, art imitating life, I guess? Oh, here we go. Oh shit, it's the quivering palm!
Well, only one strike needed.
I love it. We even talked about this when we unmasked him. That's fantastic.
Yep. If they were gonna have anything be the Noble Phantasm, it is obviously the move that has been put into popular culture.
Oh man, yeah. Like I said, that's the one. Even he hits you with that, you're gonna get so many internal injuries. You are bleeding out. Might not be right now. Might not be for a few days, but your ass is bleeding out. Man. Shut up, Nue. Nobody likes you.
Letting out all of its blood. Also, it actually moved away from our move, our EI strike. But at the same time, like, we hit all the other spiders, so it's fine.
Just
gets stunned and sits there like
yeah,
a big
just stay there. You've already overstayed your welcome. There you go. Good night. Sleep tight. Well, I guess I hate you a little less than the new way.
Yeah. Certainly got a lot of problems to take care of, though. That's okay.
I love
they're throwing everything at us. Should be worth noting the DLC is going to introduce a lot more enemy types to play around with as well. So even if it feels like we've seen everything, don't you worry about that. They got more. They got more.
Yeah,
coming.
like It was something I was gonna have to comment on at some point, but you know, like I get why we're doing this. Like it's the gauntlet before the final boss or whatever, and we're building up to something awesome. But also, we've had this fight like 18 times already.
I kind of like it though.
It's a trope for a reason.
Like Chiemon's throwing the kitchen sink at us, basically, or rather, he's corrupted the place so bad the kitchen sink has just developed into a thing that's being thrown at us.
Also reasonable with Shinto precepts anyway. Like you corrupt the vibes of an area too badly, and the kitchen sink just turns into a mimic and bites your arm off.
見つけた。
チエモンカヤを返してもらいに来た
来たか鬼がや
何とでも言っていろ英月の儀俺がここで止める
貴様の相手は私だ、ランサー。この私を前にして一度ならず二度までも姫をかどわかしてみせるとは大したものだ。決して許さぬ。覚悟せよ。
ご随意に私はサーバントとしての役割を果たすのみです。
言ったな。
チエモンお前がなぜ俺を目の敵にするのか分からずじまいではあったがもはやここまで事の葉はいらぬあとは剣に問うのみ
そうかならばお望み通り地獄を見せてやるさお前の相棒を殺しお前の妹を逃げとしこの江戸を全て燃やし尽くしてやるともなあイオリ宮本イオリ
Almost clocked Lancer in the face with the flag.
She just sort of had fakes back.
This game sorely needed outtakes. But and so it begins. The final Master versus Servant fight. Master and Servant fight, I should say. Fucking around.
Wow, that was worthy of a fucking Kurosawa flick. You just stand there patiently waiting for him to make the first move, and then you're just like, nope.
Damn it. She always does this to me every time.
You're in the way. Damn.
That's her job. Yeah, you never win a fucking clash with a servant. I don't even know why they bother. I don't know why they even bother, like, teasing the idea that you might not just get your ass completely kicked.
Oh hey, they've got team up attack. That's cool.
Yeah, they've used that before, and Shosetsu and Ryder also had one as well.
Right. I remember, like, it isn't the first time we've
shields.
seen the concept, but it's rare enough that like, and frankly, a lot of the master servant combos just kind of fucking hated each other. So like seeing that these two vibe enough to make dual techs is pretty cool.
Yeah, well, they certainly both got the flame spurt. Just dropping things on my head here. It's like, hey, come down.
Is that Chiemon doing that? Yeah, I guess it was.
No, nah. If the flames are regular flames, that's Chiemon. If they're purple,
that's Jean.
It's
okay.
Lancer. Yeah, see.
She really is a good spoiler. You were just about to really punish Chiemon, and she's like, nope.
That's her job.
That is literally her job, yep.
But, ain't gonna be so easy for her now. And he dropped it on descent. Didn't get the whole of it, but she got enough of it.
the freaking?
やはり貴様は知恵のを止めるのだ。
マスターが地獄に落ちるのを望むならば、私は
She's definitely going all out too.
灰に残らず灰に変えましょう。
刮目せよ。
貫く
力を借りる。
出番だな。
Is Saber seriously waiting every time Jean does a big draw up to say, "Hey, let's co-op and fuck her up"?
I think it's just by chance, but I'll take it.
Boy, like Chance is telling a story here.
こっちだ。
任せろ。
And he's back.
Oh man, took him a second.
承知しました。
And there's a second one they have.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, is this a dual tech or a DPS check?
いかがですか。
危険。ツバメ返し。
I still can't get over the the way he's holding his swords there. That's so stupidly cool looking.
You know, he mastered the art of being able to two-sword near true magic. He might as well be able to just put everything back in the sheath with one hand afterwards. I mean, that's the least impressive thing he's managing in that sequence.
It's the only part of it I can follow, though.
True.
切れまい。
また追われるものか。俺は
何を。
復讐するは我にありと神は言った。ならば俺は神となって地獄の門をここに開く。
飲まれるぞ。
死をもって命じる。見えとなれランサー。
承知しました。
シエモン、貴様、カヤを食らったのか。
違う。奴が彼女を食らうことなどできぬ。カヤは我が妻を音立花に看護されている。神器を扱う術を知らぬチエモンにはただ己が身の内に取り込むがせいぜい。故により今はほうけるな。あの醜き殻を打ち砕き取り戻すぞ。
And sure enough, he needed one more servant to do it, and that's why he ended up grabbing Lancer when he pulled Kai in, because he couldn't do it otherwise. Say hello to the Waxing Moon Monster, a culmination of everything that Chiemon is. We talk about Chiemon as a survivor of Shimabara, a group of essentially Catholics, Christians, who believe, who had their beliefs and believed in a different kind of god to everybody else in Japan, and were violently punished and murdered for it. And Chiemon is a believer in all of that still, in spite of everything, but carries with him that sort of tragedy and the knowledge that inevitably the people will not be punished, the people that did these things will not be punished, but that punishment should happen. And so he's taken upon it himself to be that punisher. And that's why you've got him as a monster from hell. He is that punishment, but at the same time, he still has that arm that, as you can see, is glowing with light. It's the idea that this is punishment from heaven that he wants to see as well. Not just and that's why it seems like holy magic's flying out. It's not just about it's not just about like sending everyone to hell. It's about it being an entirely justified act under God. And since God is not here,
God's not here. I gotta do it.
Yeah. And in a lot of ways, it's entirely possible. Like that factor may also come from Jeanne herself having been absorbed. So
right.
Though she is heavily corrupted herself, so that might not be the case. There's a lot of layers to this. We're all just kind of wandering around in the fire at the moment. It seems.
Like the layers of corruption that you see here, at least from where I'm looking at it as a writer myself, right? Is hey, this is something that we thought was important. We wanted to do. It was important for us to get this out, and the concept that we wanted to talk about it. But we don't want to harsh anyone's IRL mellow. So you can dismiss a lot of this stuff as a corruption of real life ideals under the crucibles of the terrible things that happen, right? And
yeah,
especially in the context of the Edo period, like it's all of that's really quite real, right? Like Christians in general had a terrible time of it after Ieyasu Tokugawa's son took over because he was a very devout devout Shinto Buddhist, and he saw the entire thing as a heresy. And Ieyasu saw no real reason to tread on his son's beliefs like that, because even though Ieyasu himself was an iconoclast, he understood very well that a highly organized religion that paid no neverminds to the temporal secular authority the way Catholicism did was a giant frickin' threat. So he was just like, okay, yeah, whatever. Like that was the entire reason why Oda Nobunaga liked this, because it paid no heed to this religious order that was incredibly well entrenched, that didn't like Oda Nobunaga at all, and frankly a lot of it had a lot of pull with individual Japanese peasants because the Jesuits that showed up were genuinely doing in a better job in a lot of ways of providing what amounted to therapy back then. Hey, my wife, son, daughter, family died. What comfort can you give me? Well, they were doing that much more effectively, much more cheaply, and much more uniformly in the areas that they were prevalent. Are you clashing with a foot?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, here's something that is funny to me. So let's go all out. Let's go all out and just use everything.
Valor
on this guy
gauge
right
over
now.
and over again. I saw what that thing did.
Have you noticed there's a problem? Have you noticed? Chiemon's taken pretty much no damage from that. In fact, he didn't even respond at that point. Yeah, the Valor Strikes, I don't know if that's intentional or a bug or whatnot, but it didn't work. And I almost died because of it.
Wow. Okay, then.
I still have my, Actually, I don't think I have it yet. I don't have my Get Up from Death Free card
Honestly,
yet.
I thought it was... Oh, that's the reason why. You hit a phase break.
I think
It's
so,
waiting.
yeah.
It's waiting for Chiemon to get back up.
Yeah, I think that might have been what did it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's
Yeah.
better to do the whole fight properly. Jesus. Like, this is a boss fight, ladies and gentlemen, by the way. There is a lot going on here.
Yeah, you hit a friggin' phase break. Like that's like when that's like in Final Fantasy 14 or whatever when you get to a certain boss HP and it just outright applies invulnerable to the boss. That's what just happened here. It just didn't have the common courtesy to give you a buff icon.
Alright, well, let's see what happens when we're not in a phase change and we hit him with a full Noble Phantasm.
Yeah, like this'll leave a mark on the barrier, but it'll still leave a mark.
Yep. And we definitely blew through the barrier.
There you go. I do love how Chiemon's entire existence has been reduced to just like a never-ending temper tantrum at this point, because he can't get up from all of the beatings you're giving him.
And I just love how he's just become the waxing moon monster. It's even like Chiemon Ultra or anything like that. It's just like he's just become this horrible thing.
Like the Twitter meme aside, this is what they mean when they say when you embark upon a journey of revenge, dig 2 graves, because one's for yourself.
I'm just bashing this man's toes in. Get him, Samson!
Fucking just a million stubbed toes. Like that definitely sounds like a cursed Gilgamesh would level at somebody. May all of your toes eternally be stubbed. Fuck, dude.
Musashi never taught us this technique of being the Lego. Sitting with everything we got.
I love, like, it still gives me pause, like that they have him take off his shades right before that one. That's so well scouted.
Well, looks like it's up to Iori to finish this one.
I mean, it was probably always going to be. You mentioned early on that there's probably they probably make sure that Iori gets the last strike anyway. Would not overall surprise me if there was another like soft phase change that only Iori could go through.
Yep. This is it.
Okay, well. Damn it.
I kind of want to do it.
Come on!
Yeah, it would have been nice to finish it with a dual strike, but alright.
まったく困った子だね。
みんなそこに。俺は行かねえ。一だら。
Yep.
What a freaking... Oh man, what a cold close. I love that. I love that so much.
There's a little bit at the end after the credits, but yes, this has been the first run through of Fate Samurai Remnant. We still have New Game Plus, and the other alternate path we could have taken. Plus, now that we've beaten the game once, we have unlocked a third ending. And on top of that, we also have 3 DLC that they've released in the time it took for me to do this Let's Play up to 35 episodes. So there is still a lot going on. There's still so much to this game yet to see.
Nobody giving Iori shit. It's just like, hey, is your sister alright? Yeah, don't worry about it. Alright.
That was Sukadoshin just there checking on him.
Yeah. Symbolic as hell, the new sun rises. The creepy music, fantastic. Right after the symbolic as hell sunrise.
And Nasu and Takeichi there are basically the 2 founders of Type Moon. By the way,
Gotcha.
Nasu the writer, Takeichi the artist. You really just couldn't have Fate as a franchise without either of them, really.
Right.
It's their iconic concepts and designs. And so, yeah, they would be very heavily sort of included in this sort of thing. Yeah, it's been a pretty crazy ride from where we started to where we ended up. And we're going to do it again, albeit, obviously, New Game Plus is going to do things a little differently. There's going to be some new sequences for us to do, some digressions that'll actually allow us to play as several of the characters in the game, several masters and servants that we've seen, but we get to see how events unfolded from their perspective. And that's including, like, Dorothea, that's including Chiemon, and also Zheng. He's also getting a few extra sequences as well, which is really nice. And we'll be pursuing the 2 paths that we did not take previously, which is the where we went searching for Kaya, and then also choosing to pursue Dorothea and Assassin at the climax rather than going off to fight the Mikado.
Right, like we're basically allowing ourselves to get distracted from the main objective.
Because we know Chiemon gets him anyway, so
it's fine. There really wasn't any need for us to be there in the first place. Don't worry about it.
But yeah, we'll be getting entirely new cutscenes, entirely new dialogues and everything for the second path, because it kind of braces you for the ending we've unlocked. But at the same time, like, I'm going to leave that until we've done literally everything in the game. Because if it's going to be the big final ending, we're going to go through all the DLCs and everything before we get there. But New Game Plus is going to probably show us a lot on the way. It's probably also going to be a lot quicker, obviously, because we're going to be cutting out a lot of that stuff.
If we've seen it before, we won't be seeing it again.
Yeah, basically. I really, really enjoyed this particular part, though. Like, I'm very fond of Chiemon as the final villain for this one, because I find him as a character very compelling. He's someone who basically knows that what he's doing flies in the face of his own faith, but he just can't let that end the way it did. And even his final words, he does not want to die because he has not avenged everybody. He will never know peace, even if he's blown up the castle. Even if he, like, killed the Tokugawa entirely through this action, he would not be at peace. This is something that fundamentally cannot happen. And he just, he did not want to die. He refused to die. He didn't get to make that choice. He's dead.
Yep. Unfortunately, it's not up to you anymore, Chiemon. Well, fortunately for the rest of us.
Yeah, but we'll see what he gets up to on the other path, because he isn't the major villain of it.
Oh.
Which is, there is a different villain for the other path. Because this was the rat. He's the guy that's been sort of gnawing at the roots of everything. Well, the next one is going to be different. I can't really say so
I
much.
look forward to that. I have absolutely delighted in our romp through this, and I would be sad to see it end. So glad that
there's
it's
still
not.
so much to go.
It's master of suspense.
Yeah, and there you go. That's it. Behold, hell's come. Hell's gone.
Of course.
So next time on Let's Play Fate Samurai Remnant, we get into New Game Plus, and we get started with I believe with some Chiemon and some Dorothea, and a little bit of extra dialogue. So I've been the Last Robot Guy,
and I have been Cool Guy.
I hope you've all enjoyed this playthrough of the initial start to Fate Samurai Remnant, and I hope everyone continues to join us for the coming episodes, because there's, like I said, there's still plenty more to go, and we hope to see you all there. And so, with that, we'll see you all next time.